At 8:47 a.m. the ocean looks calm. That's the lie. Because somewhere below the horizon, a cartel crew is running full throttle. Convinced speed makes them invisible. It doesn't. It makes them loud, predictable, and already dead in the math. Above them, a US Coast Guard helicopter cuts the sky like a scalpel. No sirens, no warning shots. Just sensors, algorithms, and a countdown nobody on that boat can see. This isn't a chase fueled by adrenaline. It's a naval warfare scenario analysis playing out in real time, where physics, fuel limits, and human error decide the outcome. The smugglers think they're ahead. They don't know 3 Coast Guard assets have already solved their future. One decision made minutes ago flagged them as an anomaly in open water. Another decision still to come will end everything with a single trigger pull. The speedboat is doing nearly 60 knots, skimming the ocean like it's barely touching reality. That's the plan. Less drag, more speed. Escape before anyone can react. But reaction time isn't the threat anymore. Prediction is. Long before the crew pushed the throttles forward, an algorithm noticed something wrong, an impossible route, a suspicious fuel pattern, a silhouette that didn't belong. In modern naval warfare scenario analysis, the fight starts hours before visual contact. The cartel crew never saw the net closing. They never hear the helicopter over the engines. They never realize they've already been boxed in. Inside the aircraft, there's no shouting. Just calm voices and data flowing across a helmet display. Distance shrinking, angles aligning, authorization granted. This isn't a pursuit. It's a controlled experiment with a guaranteed outcome. And the most important variable hasn't even entered the equation yet. The helicopter stays high and offset, exactly where the smugglers aren't looking. From this angle, the ocean hides the aircraft. From this distance, the crew looks like dots, until sensors peel away the illusion. Infrared lights up the engines like twin suns. 2 outboards, overheated, push past their comfort zone. Every second at this speed is burning money, fuel, and options. The smugglers believe they're outrunning danger. In reality, they're racing their own fuel gauge. Naval warfare scenario analysis calls this the endurance trap, where the faster platform loses first. Inside the helicopter, a flight mechanic locks into position. Not a missile, not a warning burst. 1 rifle, 1 round. That choice isn't dramatic. It's economical. Because when you understand machinery, you don't aim for people. You aim for motion. And motion is about to disappear. The rifle wasn't designed for the ocean. That's what makes this moment so unforgiving. A .50 caliber round doesn't negotiate with aluminum or engineering pride. It arrives with physics, attached, raw energy compressed, into a decision that lasts less than a blink. In naval warfare scenario analysis, this is called asymmetric termination. One system keeps moving, the other stops existing. The outboard is spinning thousands of times per minute, balanced on tolerances thinner than a human hair. That balance is fragile, violently fragile. The trigger hasn't been pulled yet, but the outcome is already written. Because when rotating mass meets sudden force, there's no gradual failure. No warning light, no second chance. There's only catastrophic imbalance and a boat that instantly forgets how to go straight. Down below, the smugglers still believe speed will save them. They don't realize the very thing they rely on is about to betray them. And it happens faster than the brain can process fear. The shot lands, not with an explosion, but with a brutal absence of continuity. One engine vanishes from the equation, torn apart in milliseconds. Rotation becomes resistance, balance becomes chaos. The speedboat doesn't slow, it yaws. At nearly 60 knots, that sudden imbalance turns forward momentum into sideways violence. The hull bites the water. The ocean answers back. In naval warfare scenario analysis, this is the moment pursuit becomes recovery. Inside the boat, gravity shifts. Loose gear becomes weapons. Training dissolves into instinct. Nobody is steering anymore, everyone is reacting. Fuel surges. The remaining engine screams under asymmetric load. Every fraction of a second increases the chance of rollover, ejection, or structural failure. From above, the helicopter crew doesn't celebrate. They watch, calm, focused, because stopping motion is only half the mission. What matters now is what the boat is carrying and what happens when it finally stops moving. As the boat loses control, its true purpose reveals itself. The deck isn't empty. It's stacked, layered, hidden, under tarps and resin like a secret that weighs too much to outrun. Bales shift as the hull slams down. Dozens of them, each one packed tight, identical, silent. In naval warfare scenario analysis, cargo weight is more than evidence. It's a liability multiplier. The smugglers know it now. They're not escaping. They're managing damage. Every maneuver risks capsizing. Every second risks sinking the very proof that seals their fate. The ocean doesn't care which side you're on. It only punishes instability. Overhead, commands are issued with surgical clarity. Weapons cold. Approach controlled. This phase isn't about force anymore. It's about containment. Because the moment the engines die, the numbers start counting backward. From freedom, from years, from entire futures. The engines finally surrender. Not dramatically, quietly. One cough, then silence. The ocean reclaims control like it was always waiting. That's when reality hits the crew. No speed, no maneuverability, no story left to sell. In naval warfare scenario analysis, this is the transition point from interdiction to inevitability. The helicopter drops lower now, rotors thundering authority into the water. A cutter appears on the horizon, closing the last escape vector the smugglers didn't know existed. Hands start to rise. Not all at once. One man first, then another. Fear spreads faster than commands ever could. Because everyone on that boat understands the math. The weight they were carrying doesn't just represent money. It represents time measured in decades. As boarding teams prepare to move, one final detail settles in. This entire operation hinged on a single round, and that round has already rewritten multiple lives. The boarding team steps onto the deck, boots meeting fiberglass, still warm from friction and fear. No resistance. There never is at this stage. Compliance is cheaper than heroics. The bales are counted, logged, photographed. Each one adds weight. Not to the boat, but to the case. In naval warfare scenario analysis, this is where tactics turn into statistics, and statistics turn into sentences. Federal charges don't scale emotionally. They scale mathematically. Quantity thresholds, mandatory minimums. No parole clocks. Every kilo tightens the trap. The suspects are separated, cuffed and moved, faces blank, eyes hollow. They already know the ending. Years measured in concrete walls and missed lives. Behind them, the seized vessel drifts. No longer a tool, just an asset waiting for auction. Another line item erased from a cartel ledger. But the most unsettling part? This wasn't rare. It was routine. And while paperwork begins, the system is already hunting again. While the suspects are flown inland, the helicopter turns back toward open water. No victory lap, no pause. In naval warfare scenario analysis, success doesn't end an operation. It validates the model. Back at command, the data from this intercept is already feeding the system. Routes updated, patterns refined, tomorrow's targets quietly selected by probabilities, not hunches. Because for every boat stopped, others are already running. Different crews, same mistakes. Same belief that speed equals safety. The Coast Guard knows the uncomfortable truth. Interdiction isn't about total victory. It's about pressure, disruption, making trafficking expensive, unpredictable and terrifyingly uncertain. Each stopped boat forces cartels to reroute, retrain, rebuild. Costs rise, margins shrink, trust erodes. And somewhere out there right now, another crew is pushing throttles forward, convinced they're the exception. They're not. They're just next. From first detection to final custody, less than an hour passed. No chaos, no headlines, just precision applied at scale. This is what modern naval warfare scenario analysis really looks like. Not fleets colliding, but decisions measured in seconds and solved with physics. One helicopter, one algorithm, one round that removed motion from the equation. The smugglers will serve time. The boat will be sold. The cargo will never reach the streets. And tomorrow the ocean will look calm, again hiding the silent war, happening just above and below its surface. The lesson is brutal and simple. You can outrun people. You can't outrun math, because in the end, speed is temporary. Physics is permanent.